Uh-oh, did you see that? Look at this, X-ray. We're going to go X-ray here. X-ray on this next image. X-ray, look at the pompano coming through. Welcome back to Fish Gum, the channel. I am Tony Fagioni. We are diving back into the ocean off the shore of Okaloosa Island on the panhandle of Florida. I'm using a double drop rig with a small bullet orange float and about size 6 sabiki hooks. The bait that I'm using today that you'll see on the hooks will either be crawfish, that's right, crawfish, or sand fleas. First fish of the day, of course, we're loaded right now in the summertime, is the ladyfish. Various curious creature coming through, coming out, checking the bait out. Takes a little bit of a pick right there, but goes right away out of the frame. So one thing you have to think about when you're looking at these underwater videos and you've got the rig on there is the fact that this camera is kind of big. It's about 8 inches long. It's black, and so in my opinion these fish are a little bit more skittish. So if we're able to catch one, that's big. I think that was a bluefish that just came by. Here is a hardtail giving us some action, pecking at the crawfish out of the frame right now. Really mesmerizing when you watch these videos. And you can see that the water is kind of dirty and stirred up. This is still the remnants of Tropical Storm Claudette that really trashed our waters, brought a lot of sargassum grass to the shores. Pompano! Look, he's hooked! He's hooked! The pompano ate the sand flea. This will be a keeper pompano. Typically the pompano, when they hit, they're kind of curious. They don't really commit like that fish did. It went right after the sand flea. It was in the bottom dropper, kind of rested on the bottom. And I will not lose this fish. The hook, again, is a size 6 gold sabiki hook. We will reel this fish all the way in. In a separate video, you will see all the other fish that I caught during this day. This wasn't the only one. However, it is the only one that actually hit the underwater camera, which is really fascinating to see this from the really fish's perspective, that we get to see down by the hook what exactly is going on. Here he is, landed on the shore. There I am, upside down, defying gravity, about to pick up the pompano and go right back into the water in just a second. Fun times here. Pompano landed, going in the cooler, going to be blackened by my wife Natalie and I later that day. Back in the water, sailing through the air, dropping down back into the ocean. Typically, Okaloosa Island's water is crystal clear. This tinge or tint of green is uncharacteristic of Okaloosa Island. If you can see right here, look at all the minnows. And I want you to pay attention to that. That's either baby ladyfish or glass minnows. During the summertime, the surf is loaded with food options for fish. When you're fishing in those kind of conditions that is the summertime, you're really going to have to use smaller baits, smaller hooks, because these fish, for the most part, are full. So you're going to try to eat something big when they're full? No, something smaller. Again, look at all the baby minnows coming through the area. It really is an amazing thing to see all this bait. Also, the sand fleas are more prevalent, right? The coquina clams are everywhere. But remember, smaller baits in the summertime. There goes some bluefish going by. Close-up frames for the next little bit here. You can see how that little float really keeps the bait suspended. Of course, if it was a heavier bait, it would sink. A lot of action. That orange looks so vivid in the water. It's really no, uh-oh, did you see that? Look at this, X-ray. We're going to go X-ray here. X-ray on this next image. X-ray, look at the pompano coming through. You see him? That was 2. I think there's one more you can see in the X-ray. Let's see if we see him. Yeah, saw him go out of frame there. So turn on the X-ray vision a little bit just to see those pompano go by. Was a pretty cool feature of the software I'm using to edit here. You clearly saw the pompano in schools. There's probably 3, maybe 4, but it was cool to see those come through. Of course, we didn't get them to strike. Ladyfish are hanging around. Really, really interested they're not hitting this. I think they're kind of scared, again, of the camera that's under the water with these fish. The camera is sitting down by the weight and pointing back up towards the sky. So we've got a 6-ounce Sputnik weight, the camera pointing back up towards the bait. So we're looking towards the shoreline from the bottom up at the rigs themselves. Whoa, that was a Spanish. Again, let's do some X-ray vision here. Spanish mackerel, boom, out of there. So if you're fishing during the summertime, you know, there's a lot of action, even though I'm not detecting it on my end of the line. You really, when you're fishing set rigs in the summertime, go ahead. Pompano, again, coming in. That was a missed opportunity. I will not catch that one. But again, this is going after crawfish. Pretty cool. That Pompano hung around for a while. Took a couple hits. Couldn't get him to strike. These baits are very small. So, you know, he didn't really inhale it. We didn't get a chance to catch him. Back to the ladyfish. Bring a spoon. Bring a gotcha lure. Bring something easy to cast over and over and over into the surf zone while you're waiting on your set rigs. With all this life, the bluefish, the Spanish mackerel, the ladyfish, they're going to hit those spoons while you wait for something maybe better to hit the set rigs. What you're looking at to the right-hand screen, there's two of them. There's one up top moving, and there's one moving there at the bottom of the frame, the top, or bottom right, excuse me. That is a olive snail. Olive snails will attack your bait, and they will actually bring it down into the sand and bury it and eat your bait. So during the summertime, they're more active. When you're reeling your bait in to check it, if you feel like it's stuck in the bottom of the ocean or your weight stuck, it's not your weight. These olive snails are everywhere, and they're taking your bait down to the sand, and that bait is not going to be suspended in the air for the fish or the ocean water for the fish. So check your baits more often during the summertime, or you will be cause prey here to the olive snail. Here we go back to the ladyfish, heavy in the ocean. This is a pretty good size school. We're about to come back on here in a second, and we'll close this out. I hope you enjoyed the 7 minutes, man. It went by fast. I hope you enjoyed that underwater surf fishing video, catching that pomp, watching the way it eats underwater, seeing other schools of pompano, bluefish, Spanish mackerel, ladyfish. Everything is in that ocean, and it is alive. Not as hungry, because there's plenty of food. That's why I scale down with smaller hooks, smaller floats. If you can see that, that is a size 6 sabiki and a little small bullet float. I scale down in the summertime to present something smaller to make sure we can get that strike. Thank you so much for watching. Join me next time right here when we excite the strike. God bless.